What's up, guys? It's Cody, and this is another UFC betting breakdown. This time for UFC Sao Paulo. We got Jailton Almeida taking on Derek Lewis. And before we get into it, I did drop the results for my UFC 294 UFC 5 giveaway. I just posted a short video earlier, spinning the wheel random. So I do have 3 more active giveaways right now that are live. I got 4 more after that. If you want to get in on any of the 3 live, I'm going to put the details in the caption below. One of them is for my ground tutorial for UFC 5. You got to watch the first minute of that. One of them is following my fiance's new Twitch channel at twitch.tv/blazingbeesknees. And one of them is for watching the first minute of that DGL's newest video, my gaming league. If you want to get in on that gaming league and compete in UFC 5, you can join the DGL Discord, and we'll get you in there. That's where you see the rankings, the signups, all that. Right now, we're doing events every Friday night. That could end up changing. We might go to 2 a week. But with all that out of the way, man, make sure you leave a like on the video, leave a comment, subscribe. Let me know what bets you're going with. And all that out of the way, man, let's get into the first fight of the night. We got Mark Diakese taking on a debutant here, and Fernandez. I was going through the fight a little bit. I really just wanted to see, okay, is this a bounce back fight for Diakese? I mean, Fernandez, good striking. Obviously hasn't fought the greatest competition, but had a couple decent fights in LFA. This Felipe Douglas win, that was solid, but I mean, it was 45 seconds in. The guy's got good striking, but I really do feel like this is a good spot for Diakese to bounce back. If you've been watching Diakese's fights recently, we've been calling him D1 Diakese for a reason. I mean, this fight honestly should be a no contest. He took a big headbutt and then immediately got subbed. The Michael Johnson fight, not his best performance, but I mean, still Michael Johnson is a veteran, and when he's at his best, he can be a tough guy to beat. The amount of takedowns he hit in these 2 fights here, I mean, I think he'll come back into this. And we've seen Fernandez get taken down by lower level competition. I think Diakese can do the same. So I'm going to say Mark Diakese gets the bounce back. I think that's what the UFC wants here. Even though they're fighting the Brazilian in Brazil, I actually think this is a pretty good matchup for Diakese, and I think he will bounce back. I'm going to take Diakese to win by decision. I think he'll play it pretty smart. He does not want to drop 3 in a row. So give me Mark Diakese to win by decision, and let's move on to the next fight. I will say, as far as this one, I'm tempted to maybe lay him into a 2-fight parlay, but I want to see what the props are. Maybe Diakese by decision. I don't know. I'd want to take a look at that a little bit more, but no bets on it as of yet. Next up, though, we got Mazerat Ruiz, a.k.a. Conejo, taking on Eduardo Mora. Mora 9-0. She's decent prospect. 29, but I mean, still hasn't been fighting for that long. I mean, only been a pro fighter for a little over a year. Seems pretty solid. I mean, decent grappling. Striking's okay. I do think she's got to have a big size advantage here. I get why she's the favorite. Obviously, she's the bigger girl. Ruiz has not looked great in the UFC. She likes to clinch girls, put them up against the cage, look for that head and arm choke. She's more of a grappler, but it's gonna be tough for her to grapple the bigger girl here, a much bigger girl, not just height, but just frame and just overall, just a lot bigger. I am gonna pick Mora, but I'm looking at this line because, man, this Ruiz, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous, man. I mean, I haven't bet it yet, but it's tempting because it's dog or pass for sure. I'm not betting minus 450 on a girl who's fought absolutely nobody ever. So I really don't like to bet on a Ruiz. You know, I've picked against her at like all of her fights, but it is tempting there. But let's move on to the next fight. I will take Mora. I'm going to take her probably TK. I'm going to take her by submission second round, but I'm going to be watching that line because it's pretty ridiculous. Next up, though, we got Angela Hill taking on Denise Gomes. I got in on this early. I had to take Angela Hill as an underdog. I mean, I get it, and everybody's been pushing back a little bit, saying, oh, Denise is legit. She hits much harder. She does have a power advantage, but that's about it. And she did have a good win against Yasmin Warigi, but another reason why you don't take these big, green fighters, especially in lower-level women's MMA, as big favorites. She got the early finish, and that was a good win for sure. She hits hard. She definitely has the power advantage. But Angela Hill, this is a step down for her. I mean, she's fought much better girls. She's got the much better volume. She's got the much better cardio. I know this is only 3 rounds, but she's got 5 in her easy. I know she's 38 at 115 pounds. That's not great, but I just think this is a big step down for her. I think the volume, as long as she doesn't eat any big shots, get knocked down, anything like that for the scorecards, I don't think she'll get finished. So she just got to stay on her feet, just pepper her, land more volume. I think she'll get the win. I think she's a live dog. I get it if you're, she's getting up there. She hasn't, she's had some meh performances, but I mean, you go through the girls she's fought, and this is a big step down. I mean, yeah, she just lost to Mackenzie Dern. I mean, it's just a different level of fighter. So I'm going to take Angela Hill. I'm going to take her by decision. Let's move on to the next one. We got Victor Petrino taking on Modesta Bukauskas. And Petrino, rightfully so, a decent favorite. I mean, not a whole lot to say about this one, man. I don't really know how I want to attack this as far as betting. Bukauskas, I mean, he's had some good wins in a row for sure, but I do feel like, these are lower level fights. Obviously, these two were after he got cut from the UFC. The Tyson Pedro win was good, but neither fights were super impressive. It's just not a whole lot happening. He doesn't throw a lot. I do feel like, Petrino's a much more dangerous guy. He's going to be doing a lot more. I mean, obviously, Bukauskas, he's got some decent experience at a higher level at this point, and that's why I don't really want to bet over 2-1 Petrino. I do think a finish is much more likely on his side, so maybe you take, if the fight goes to decision, it's a push, because Bukauskas does have a way of making these fights boring, but overall, I'm going to take Petrino. I'm thinking by submission. I'm going to take Petrino by sub. I know he's got some good ground and pound as well, but I think a sub could happen here. Sub or a ground and pound victory, but I'm going to take Petrino, though. Not enough for me to take the underdog again, Bukauskas, but not enough for me to want to bet the young, undefeated, still green guy at over 2-1. So let's move on to the next one. We got Eliza Zaleski dos Santos taking on Hanad Fakhretdinov. Zaleski, man, dangerous guy for sure. They call him Capoeira. He's got the nasty kicks, but he is a nasty grappler as well. Coming off a good win over Abubakar Nurmagomedov. Nurmagomedov kind of gets shit on just because he's the lesser so of the Nurmagomedovs, but he's still a tough win to get. And also beat Benoit Saint Denis. That's a solid win. I thought he won the Muslim Salikov fight, so he could be on a 4-fight win streak. He got caught by Jing Liang. Dangerous guy on the feet. Fakhretdinov, though, man, I do think the line's a little crazy, but I do think he should be, minus 250, minus upper twos, because Fakhretdinov, I wasn't super sold on this guy early. The Michaelides fight, it was okay. The Brian Battle fight is, it looks better over time. But, I got to say, Kevin Lee, people like to shit on him, but that was a good win. He straight up smoked Kevin Lee out of there. Made him look terrible. Fakhretdinov's legit, man. He's got good wrestling, good grappling. His hands are heavy. He's got power. Good little nasty guillotine, obviously. This guy's good, and he doesn't take a whole lot of risks. He hasn't lost in forever. His last loss was almost 10 years ago by decision. So I'm going to take Fakhretdinov. I think minus 350 is a little pushing it, but, it's a little tempting to put him in maybe a 2-fighter parlay. Maybe him and Diakese. That wouldn't be a terrible parlay, but nothing I've done yet. I'm going to be looking at it, but I will take Fakhretdinov. I'm going to take him by decision. Zaleski's a hard guy to finish. He has been finished before, but it's been, since the Leech. Other than that, it was, almost 10 years ago as well. Actually, it was 10 years ago. So I'll take Fakhretdinov. I'll take him by decision. Let's move on to the next one. This next fight is a banger. We got Daniel Marcos taking on Victor Hugo. Marcos still 15-0 undefeated. He had a couple close ones. That Davy Graham fight was super close. But, this guy's good. He's definitely mixes it up well. Both guys are good grapplers. I think Marcos is more dangerous on the feet, and that's why he's the favorite. But likes to mix in the grappling. Hugo's good jiu-jitsu, good grappler. So they call him Striker, but he's definitely more of a grappler. So that's kind of a funny nickname. I mean, obviously he's got some KO finishes. He's got power. He's got finishing capabilities on the feet as well. But more of a grappler. Good ground and pound. Good submissions. I think this is actually a little closer, and I think the value because of that is on Hugo because I don't think this is a minus 250 worth fight. I think it's going to look closer than that. I think it's going to be a pretty competitive fight. If Marcos keep it on the feet, he'll be good. And I do think he should be the favorite, but I would have put it out like minus 150. I mean, let's see what I try not to do this as much as I can, but I'm interested to see what it is right now. Let's see. Where is it? I hate when they mess it like it's all split like that. Here we go. Yeah, wow. Yeah, see, I think it's a closer fight than that, minus 250. I will take Danel Marcos, but I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take him by ground and pound finish, but I could end up, I could see it getting a little dicey, and I could see Hugo catching him, taking his back at some point. It could happen. But overall, I'll take Danel Marcos. I'll take him by TKO on the ground. Let's move on to the next one. We got Elvis Brenner taking on Kenan Krushenkuski. Yeah, this is definitely, it's not the fight we thought we were going to get. Brenner was supposed to fight Esteban Ribovics. And do they even have a line on this fight yet? Yeah. No, actually, it's not. Yeah, I don't think there's a line on this fight yet. Let me see. Yeah, probably not. This fight did just get booked. Yeah, we'll see what the line is. I mean, overall, I haven't got a bunch of time. I just saw this fight got announced today. Watched a couple of his fights. I mean, obviously the record's nice. Couldn't really see like him fighting any really good guys. I mean, he had the one fight at LFA. Couldn't find that fight anywhere. Looked at a couple of these jungle fights. I mean, definitely looks solid. I mean, you look at some of the guys he's fought, the ones I couldn't find the fights of. It's like some okay records, but sometimes that can not tell you everything. I mean, looks pretty well rounded. Brenner overall, I need the full fight camp. I mean, I like this guy's grappling. His striking's pretty solid. Both these guys seem pretty put together, even though Kenan is 32. He hasn't really had, like, Brenner's fought some tougher guys. So I don't really care that, this guy is a little bit prettier record. Like, I don't really care about that. And Brenner's fighting at Shooter Box Diego Lima, some good training partners. Overall, I got to go Brenner. And, I'm sure he's going to come in as a decent favorite. But I'd want to see where the line is put at before I would think about any betting, obviously. We'll be watching that. I'll tweet it out what I'm thinking. But I will pick Brenner. I don't think this guy's really fought anybody yet. Not that Brenner's fought, like, the toughest competition. But, I mean, I did like that win in Guram. Yeah, he was kind of getting his ass whooped a little bit of that until he came back. But it was still showed that he's got the gas tank and, the durability to stick in there. So, good win by him. I think he'll look to get another one, and definitely like this guy's style a lot. He's fun to watch. But I'll take Brenner. I'll take him by knockout. Probably. I'm going to take him by I'm going to take him by ground TKO as well, ground and pound. Let's move on to the next one. We got Ismael Bonfim taking on Vince Pichel. Bonfim, the biggest favorite on the card. I get it. Pichel, 40, almost 41. More of a grappler, but Bonfim's a super high grappler, and he's 13 years younger, and he's got the much quicker, more powerful, more explosive, athletic. I mean, he's got everything on his side. Pichel's tough, though. I mean, 14-3 as a pro. He's fought some tougher guys. I think this is, a step up for Bonfim, but obviously at almost 41, Pichel should be the underdog. I think the line's a little wide because Pichel has a way to make it close, but I am going to have to side with Bonfim. I'm going to say he's going to land some good shots, get Pichel shooting, and snatch the neck up. So I'm going to take Bonfim by sub, keep it short and sweet here. I'm not going to lay that big line, and the inside the distance line is juice too, so I won't be taking that. But give me Bonfim by sub. Let's move on. We got Rodolfo Vieira taking on Armin Petrosyan. Rodolfo Vieira, huge, jacked, high-level grappler. I know he got subbed by someone who's thought of as more of a striker in Anthony Hernandez. But it's mostly his gas tank that did that. It was really all his gas tank. Gas tank's terrible. But I do think this is a pretty good matchup for him, man, because I will say Armen Petrosyan, good gas tank, much better striker, but he's got some really bad takedown defense. And, Vieira, his gas tank's not good, but that's when he's forced to strike, he gets tired. But if he can grapple, he can do that all day. He's been grappling his whole life. So I actually think this is a good fight for Vieira. So I had to take Vieira. This line has been changing a little bit. I mean, let's see where it's at right now. Where are we at? Yeah. I mean, it's been moving around a little bit, but I got him like basically even money. If you can get him at even money, if you can get him as an underdog, obviously, good job. I saw some people did, but I like him in this matchup. I think that he won't need to show a better gas tank. His striking has gotten better, but he don't want to strike with Armen. Armen doesn't have great takedown defense. I think Vieira takes him down and submits him. So give me Vieira, submission. Let's move on to the next fight. Next up, we got Kyle Baralo taking on Abus Magomedov. Obviously, Abus, terrible, showing in his last fight, but it was against the champ, Sean Strickland. It was only the second round. He gassed completely, but it was short notice. I do think this guy's good. He's got good grappling, good wrestling. Striking's not terrible, but the gas tank is tough. Kyle Baralo, really good jiu-jitsu. Not the greatest wrestling, though, so he might have trouble taking Magomedov down. It's just a matter of can he keep competitive on the feet until Abu starts to slow down and get the takedown there. Overall, I will take Baralo just because I think the striking's pretty close. I think he can compete there, and then in the ends of the second, third, I think he can start to work the takedowns, but I don't think it's going to be easy for him to take Magomedov down. I think Magomedov will win the first round, so if you want a better line, I'm going to be looking at playing this one live after the first. I think Baralo could easily lose that first round and then come back in the second and third. But I think Magomedov is going to be taking this fight super seriously. That was a really bad showing in his last fight. I think he's better than that. I think he will fight better, but I will take Baralo. But minus 250, no, I'll be looking at to play it live. So let's move on. I am going to take Baralo to win. I'm going to say by decision. He doesn't take a whole lot of chances. I think he will just dominate on the ground in the second and third round and win those rounds, take the decision. The rear naked choke's possible, but I'm going to say decision. Let's move on to the next one. We got Rodrigo Nascimento taking on Dontel Mays. These two already fought once. Nascimento finished him in the first round. It wasn't that long ago. It was actually the second round. Rear naked choke. Nascimento is a high-level black belt. Doesn't have the greatest wrestling, but if it gets to the ground, he's the much better grappler. Dontel Mays, though, huge, athletic. I mean, Mays, his build is exactly what you would. I mean, he's huge at heavyweight, big reach, big height, and pretty athletic. He's just slumbering and kind of slow. Mays, man, he's a tough guy to bet, man. You never know which one's going to show up. He definitely has potential, but it's kind of time to show it. I mean, 31 at heavyweight isn't old at all, but sometimes he looks good and sometimes he just completely drops it. Overall, I think Nascimento should be a bigger favorite because we saw this fight already. I guess minus 180 is pretty fair. Maybe a two-fighter parlay situation, but I don't know. I mean, haven't bet it yet. I'll be looking to maybe, but would probably just play it straight, if anything. These two fight really crazy. I mean, Nascimento could get caught and get knocked out, but overall, I will take Nascimento. I'm going to take him to get the takedown, find a submission. I'll probably take him to get another rear naked choke win. So give me Nascimento's second round sub. I think it's going to play out pretty similar to the first fight. But, May sometimes shows up and looks great, so it's possible. But let's move on to the co-main event. We got Gabriel Bonfim this time taking on Nicholas Dolby. Dolby plus 400, big underdog. I get it. He hasn't been looking great even though he's been winning. I mean, he definitely doesn't have near the finish upside. I mean, hasn't had a finish in like 4.5 years. But, I mean, he's a tough guy to put away, tough guy to finish. Bonfim finishes everybody, it seems. Definitely, good on the feet, good on the ground. I like to see him getting a little bit of a step up, even though He's a big favorite. Dolby is tough, and I mean, if he can get the finish here, we could start to see him fighting ranked opponents. But we'll see if he can get Dolby out of there. I do think Bonfim should be a big favorite. I mean, he is kind of just like his brother. They kind of given him both pretty favorable matchups, two aging veterans. So I think Gabriel Bonfim quicker, more explosive, more powerful. Dolby going to be trying to just make it ugly, grapple him, slow the fight down. But I think Bonfim will catch him at some point. I think he's just like his brother. I think he has really high chance to get that club and sub. So I'm going to take Bonfim to catch him and either knock him out or find that sub. I would just, if you're really trying to play that inside the distance. But I think the line's too juiced at this point. If anything, I mean, if it gets too crazy, I mean, I might have to throw a little something on Dolby by decision. I don't think he will, but I think the line is getting a little crazy. But at the same time, I get it. Bonfim has all the advantages. I will take Gabriel Bonfim to win by submission, second round. Let's move on to the main event. In the main event, we got Jailton Almeida taking on the Black Beast, Derek Lewis. Jailton Almeida, technically better everywhere. I mean, even in the feet, his striking's pretty solid. I mean, Derek Lewis got hands, obviously. And, I mean, one thing about him is not only does he obviously, I mean, I think he hits harder than Francis. I think he's the hardest hitter as far as one punch ever in the UFC. Him and Rumble Johnson, as far as just one right hand. But Francis throws better or harder in combination, but one right hand. And the thing about it is he carries that into the very last second. We saw against Volkov. He'll knock you out with 5 seconds left after getting his ass whooped. So Jailton Almeida's got to be on his toes. And we've seen this matchup before, and Derek Lewis has shocked the world before. Obviously, Jailton should be a favorite. Obviously, he's going to be going out there looking to wrestle, but he ain't the biggest heavyweight either. I mean, he's going to come in around like 235 probably. Derek Lewis, a big boy, man. I know he's lost some weight, but he's lost fat, and he's still a freaking big boy. So he's not easy to take down. He could definitely catch Jailton, knock him out. I'm going to be looking at some first-round Derek Lewis props, some first-round KO props. But obviously, I get it. If you're playing Jailton, like, he should win this fight. 8 times out of 10, he wins this fight. But 2 times out of 10, he gets knocked his head off his shoulders. So I'm going to take Jailton. I'm going to take him by probably knock TKO off the ground. Derek Lewis doesn't really get submitted a ton unless you're DC. But Jailton could definitely, catch him in an arm triangle or something. But I'm going to say ground and pound. He'll just cover up and not be able to respond. I'll take Jailton second round, TKO. But I definitely would not be shocked if Derek Lewis knocks him out. And I might be looking at some props for Derek Lewis first round KO. But all that out of the way, man. Try to make it as short and sweet as I can. I appreciate you guys. Check out those 3 giveaways. I'm going to put them in the caption below. And I will catch y'all. I'm dropping a Derek Lewis showcase on UFC 5, so look out for that. And I got a bunch of giveaways and content coming. I am streaming on live on Twitch almost every night. So check me out there. The caption, or all my links are in the caption below. Good luck on your bets, man. Enjoy the fights. Win some money. I will catch y'all next time. Peace.